Hello. How are you all doing tonight? Yeah, I thought I'd start a little bit early tonight. Don't really have anything better to do at the moment, so yeah, just come on a little bit earlier. See how everybody's doing, and hope everyone's doing well tonight. We've got one person here. Hello. Who is it? Is everybody alright tonight? So is anyone else just joining now? But it takes a while, so looks like that person's gone, so yeah, I don't usually get into much of anything right at the beginning, because what's the point when there's nobody watching, so just gotta wait for some people to arrive. We can try and figure something out to talk about. I don't know, I'm kind of just, yeah, I need to really kind of sort this shit out, basically. Yeah, just at a point where, like, yeah, I need to really kind of get my shit together. I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to be 30 next year. It's like, I know people say, oh, you're still young and all that, but it's like, won't be young forever though. Before you know it, I'll be 40, 50, 60. So, yeah, how are we doing tonight, people? Hope you're all well. Yeah, so, I'm going to just focus on my dreams, focus on my ambitions, not let anything distract me. So many people get distracted by things like dating or friendships and things like that oftentimes are just not serving them, and just end up actually wasting your time and just drain you emotionally, and not good to be in those kind of situations, really. So be very careful about who you are friends with, who you're dating, because it can end up wasting a lot of time, a lot of energy, just make you feel depleted, and that's not the way we should be. The people that we surround ourselves with should be supportive. They should be, they should reciprocate that energy that you put out. And that if they're negative, then it can make you negative. So it just ends up turning you more bitter, and just keeps you at a lower vibration. So, but yeah, I've been kind of on my own most of the time. I just kind of, times it can get a bit lonely, but it's like, I'd rather be alone than in bad company, and I'll just rather do what I need to do on my own. Because at this moment in time, I don't really have a lot of ambitious people around me. They're just kind of, people are just not very ambitious these days. It seems I guess it's just, people have become quite disheartened with the state of the economy, for example, and it can be quite black-pilling, and people feel like they don't really have much control over their lives, but it's just it's a mindset thing, I think. People get into like a bad mindset around money and things like that, thinking that, oh, well, it's bad financial times. Well, yeah, of course it's not great, but you got to remember we have been through much worse than this, and we came out of it better. You got to remember back in times of war, and we've had really, really bad times in the past, but it's just, I think things have been so good that when things are going a bit downhill, then people start panicking. They're used to things being so good for so long, and then as soon as there's a little bit of adversity, then people are just kind of like, oh no, the world's coming to an end, the sky's falling down, and it's like, really? You know, it's just try and kind of be like, have that mindset of like, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And you have to learn to have mental resilience and not crumble because things are a little bit adverse. I think you should really try and, you know, put yourself through some kind of challenges and really just create that mental resilience to not give up. And so you got to try and train your body to, but the thing is, because things have become so comfortable, then it's like, we're not prepared for that. So putting yourself through something difficult every day could be good, like working out or something. Hello, in Shan. Oh, really? Oh, no. Alright, where the hell is everybody? Why is it so dead in here? Goodness. Yeah, so, yeah, it's just best to focus on what's within your control as well. Stop focusing on things out of your control. It's like, yeah, maybe things are a bit of a challenge right now, but you gotta just try and kind of see the fun in that you're going to succeed despite all the obstacles, that the economy's gone a bit downhill. You've got to see it as like, you know, it's kind of like if you're in a video game and you play it on hard mode kind of thing. It's like, it kind of makes it more fun, because if things are too easy, then it's just boring. Imagine playing a video game that you can just, you know, you get through the level first time, every time. There's no struggle, there's no challenge there. It would just be very boring. It doesn't cause you to become more, to adapt and become better. And thank you for the like, whoever that is. I'm from the UK. Yeah, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here, people. So yeah, like it's yeah, basically what was I saying? That, but yeah, I hope everyone's had a good day today. Like I said, just focusing on what's within your control. Stop focusing on, you know, like all the stuff that's going on, like politics or whatever. It's like, yeah, oh, such and such person becomes president or whatever. It's like, yeah, but it's like, you're just going to freak out over it. It's like, that's not going to solve anything, is it? Like, it's not actually going to solve any issues. Freaking out over things that you have no control over, like, just get over yourself. Just learn to become more mentally, more emotionally strong. And I'm kind of talking to myself as well, because sometimes I freak out over nothing. So I need to kind of remind myself that sometimes I freak out over things, like when people make really mean comments and stuff like that, that sometimes it triggers me, because I'm like, you know, like the audacity of some people saying certain things. It's like, really, you're just going to come in here and say that? I'll fucking dare you, you know, kind of thing. It's like, you know, to not take things personally is something I've been trying to learn to do. And that oftentimes when people say stuff that's negative, it's usually they're projecting their own insecurities. So yeah, that's something else I've been trying to learn to kind of get better at. But yeah, it's just, nobody's perfect. We all have some flaws, but we have to accept that, yeah, that's just part of our character, and we can try to overcome them over time, but there'll always be something that you'll find that you're not perfect at, and that's fine. You know, it's just, we're always going to be a work in progress. We never get to perfection, because I think that if we ever got to perfection and we couldn't get any better, that would be boring. It's great to always be able to improve in some way. I think that's what I'd say. It's important to be able to always be able to kind of, it's like, you know, when you've completed a game, then it's like you just move on to the next one, because it would be boring to continue to play the game or to try and start it again, because you've already completed it. You've completed that mission. It's like it's time to move on then, and, you know, start new goals, new things. Like, for example, you get the people in the gym and they're building muscle and then whatever, and the progress slows down. some people then try to just cheat and kind of do drugs to try and get more gains, but that's just gonna cheat their health basically, and probably make you not live as long and as healthy. So, yeah, yeah. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I don't know what's going on here, but it seems like I've been pretty much shadow banned or something. But it is what it is, you know. Oh, what the hell. But yeah, I've got over, nearly 1,500 subscribers, but yeah, only one person here. Doesn't seem right to me that. We should be doing way better than that. Like, we should be getting at least 20, 30 people here every time. I don't know. Oh, hello, Abby. How are you doing? Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, seems like I've been shadow banned or something. It just doesn't seem right. I don't know, lately the views have just been quite low, and it can be a bit disheartening, but again, you've got to not take these things personally. Sometimes there's things out of your control and you just have to just deal with it. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I was just having a bit of a kind of monologue sort of thing, just talking about, to not focus on things that are not within your control. And then I think you were talking about that with the site called Cybernetics book about, like kind of about your focus and all that, what you focus on, and things that you focus on. Like, for example, you might have a certain thing about the way that you look that's kind of, that you kind of, maybe someone has a bit of a crooked nose, for example, and they're a bit like hyper kind of conscious about that. And then it's like they're always kind of conscious, they're always looking in the mirror and being like, oh no, I have this sort of thing about me. And it's like, it's about learning to let go and accept the flaws, and just that nobody's perfect, and try to focus on all the good parts of you. It's like, for whatever reason, we tend to focus more on the negative aspects of us, even though they're not really negative, and then we don't focus on the positive aspects. So hello Adria, how you doing tonight? Thank you for the likes, people. So yeah, try to just focus on the good things about yourself, and just instead of, look at, like, for example, someone might have stretch marks or something like that, and they're like constantly looking at that instead of just seeing yourself as a whole. And it's like, actually, you know what, it really isn't that bad. But we can be our own worst critics for some reason, and maybe this can be from, that can lead to that, and you have to sort of learn to let go of that. And yeah, I've accepted who I am, and I'm glad to be who I am. All thanks to Cybernetics. Yeah, you were saying about that, and I know you were saying that you've been doing some therapy as well, but it's but yeah, about the self-image is stuff I've been seeing about, the psycho-cybernetics. Oftentimes we form our self-image from, when we were little, at an impressionable age, and it's hard to let go of that, but you have to go through a lot of inner work to be able to let go of that. Like, sometimes either it was through childhood, or maybe like a point in your life, like, for example, someone might have been, overweight for, an extended amount of time, and that really led to them having low self-esteem. Maybe other people were making fun of them or whatever, and yeah, or even if someone had acne for, most of their life, and then even when they get rid of it, that self-image is still there, even though they can see, but yeah, they can see that the acne's gone away, but it's like, but they still think that it's there. But it's like, but yeah, comparing, I think you were talking about, like, that comparing past and present. So this is like, for example, if someone tries to build muscle and then they're like, they still think, oh, looks skinny or whatever, but what I'd recommend to these people is look at an old photo of yourself when you were just started, or before you started, because that's gonna give you that contrast and be like, oh, actually, I've actually made quite some progress. You can see my arms or whatever look bigger, and like you can see massive changes. But oftentimes we would be focusing on how we look now compared to what other people look like. But the problem is that we're seeing these inflated pictures on social media. Either they're taking steroids or they're kind of photoshopping and using a certain lighting to make them look bigger, and they have all these different tricks using pump, like having the correct hand and you name it. But oftentimes they're doing steroids or whatever, and also just the fact that they are like the top percentage of genetics. It's like we can't be comparing ourselves to these people. Hello, Dale, how you doing? Hope you're doing well tonight. So it's like you can't be comparing yourself to these people. So maybe you have to just get yourself off social media if it's really affecting you that badly. Just focus on what you look like now compared to how you looked like previously, because then you'll see the differences. And yeah, I mean, but it's like, the thing is, most of the people around you in your day-to-day life probably aren't going to be that great. Most people are going to be pretty average. And oftentimes these people that are very conscious of themselves are actually way above average in some cases, that they're like really critical of themselves, but yet they look better than most people, which is crazy to think that how someone could be so attractive but yet have such low self-esteem, such low sense of worth or whatever. And that's why I use the old photo to tell people of how I used to be. Yeah, that's it. Because you can see the differences there. You can, instead of trying to compare your picture to some, like, I don't know, celebrity or whatever, some model or whatever. It's like, because oftentimes these have unrealistic bodies anyway. A lot of them have these really, like either they're photoshopped or just use implants and all kinds of fake crap that's not healthy. Oftentimes they're on diet pills now as well. They're on things like Ozempic and stuff like that. And there's been some stuff about that might not be very good for a lot of people as well. That can be quite dangerous if you abuse it. So like, people are just doing a lot of unnatural things to themselves, and people are looking up to that because they look up to all these celebrities, like Kardashians or whatever, and it's like, these are not role models, okay? But for some reason, a lot of these younger women, that they tend to look up to these Kardashians as role models, even though they're just a bunch of trash humans that are basically just using their clout to sell a bunch of crap that's not good. And it's just kind of causing a lot of body dysmorphia. And why would you be looking up to someone like that? But it's like they don't know any better, I think, is what it is. They don't know that's what they're doing. They're at an impressionable age. Oftentimes these teen girls are growing up, and they're like, they don't understand that these people don't have their best interests at heart. They just think that they're some great people who can't do anything wrong. It's like, for some reason we put celebrities on a pedestal, and we're like, we can't seem to kind of see them as on our level. That it's like we sort of like see them as some kind of superior, that, oh well, that's how their body is, so therefore I need to try and emulate that, because otherwise I'm like nowhere near on their level. And it's like, it's just a very toxic kind of mindset on that, to kind of see yourself as beneath these people. Because when you see yourself like that, then you'll pretty much just take everything that they say as gospel. I was watching a video of mime on Hearn earlier, and I thought, how shallow is he? All he cares about is his appearance. That's his life. He on about Mike O'Hearn, yeah. Yeah. It's just well, that's his brand, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's like that's what made him get famous and get all the money and all that. So I suppose in a way, it's like he has to kind of sell himself that way. Like that's why he'll be doing all these steroids and stuff. Because if he actually says he's taking steroids, then it kind of discredits what he's doing. And but the thing is, everybody knows, so it's like he's afraid to admit to something that people already know it anyway. Because there's just no way that he would get to that level of physique. I mean, he's like 6'3" apparently, so he's a little bit shorter than me, and he's about I think 250, but very very lean. So that's quite heavy for yeah. Now there are some naturals that could probably 6'3", maybe 230, maybe 240 at very very max with like elite level genetics. But yeah, um, but yeah, 250 is very very like yeah. It doesn't seem realistic. I used to compare myself to a lot of people 3 years ago, and that was a horrible mindset I was in. Yeah. Focus on your own progress rather than these people, because if anything, it's just going to dishearten you, and you're just going to feel like, oh, I'm so far away from that. Set realistic goals rather than goals that are way out that are just seem too kind of impossible to reach. So, for example, you get these guys who are trying to look like David Lade at like, I don't know, 6-7% body fat or whatever. It's like, I think that might be a bit too extreme. If you're a bit more modest, a little bit, like a more kind of, and then also maybe not quite as muscular, just kind of more of a, kind of modest kind of look. But when you kind of aspire to someone with, quite a lot of muscle whilst also maintaining single digit body fat year round, that might not be the best. I mean, I want to see how lean I can get. I think I could get to single digit body fat actually, but I think I was actually pretty much there when I was but I was very, very skinny. At the time, I was probably around 7% body fat at the time, but I was just so skinny. I was like, there was literally no fat on me really at all. It was just, and there was no muscle either. I think at my lowest I was around 67, 68 kilos, something like that, and I was just at a height of 6'4", so you can work it out. It was not good. I mean, yeah, I only had like a very small amount of muscle left at that point. It was just like, you could see like the ribs and all that. There was like, but basically, yeah, but maybe I could get down to that level of body fat whilst having, a decent amount of muscle. So, but I don't know, but I'd be happy to be around maybe, kind of 10 to 12% and kind of maintain there. But we'll just see how far I can take things. And I'm starting the cut, probably pretty soon actually, and just try to get shredded and see how far I can go without getting any kind of health problems from it, because some people will end up struggling with their health when they get too lean. But I think I could probably maintain a relatively low body fat percentage, and that's going to help me with my kind of mental health, I would say, because I'm still a little bit conscious about this last bit of fat that I'm going to try and get rid of soon. But yeah, I just want to get that kind of beach body, have that kind of washboard abs and all that. But it's mainly down to your diet to do that, basically. As long as you've got a decent base of muscle, you don't need to build more on top of that. And I might do some abs and stuff tonight. But I'm not you can build up your abs a bit more, but it's like, it's mainly down to your body fat levels. If you have, you can see that some people can get
good abs with high body fat percentage, but then you're just going to look kind of bloated and blocky looking and not really very aesthetic. So yeah, you can get someone go bare mold and then they're like 20+% body fat with like abs. It just isn't going to look good though. So yeah, it's just it's not going to be healthy either. Over 20% body fat is, for pretty much almost any guy, is not healthy. You're probably going to start be getting like visceral fat and yeah, not good. I would say like I'm getting there, but it's just like I want to be able to be lean enough to where it kind of shows off more, because it's like you can have a certain amount of muscle mass and it's like, yeah, my arms have gotten bigger and like my chest and all that, but I want to try and get like the abdominals popping. It just, when you have the leanness, it just makes it look more three-dimensional and more kind of yeah. But I don't know, it's you have to just kind of get to a point where you're happy with it and just maintain that. And you've got to think about your health too, and like getting too big is not good for your health. Even if you are natural, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to go a bit beyond a certain point, especially being tall. It's like the amount of food I have to consume every day, and it's not it's not a good idea to go too extreme with it. Oh yeah, you doing your press ups in a bit. Oh cool. But yeah, anyway, so I could do a few crunches, I guess, but I've been feeling a little bit kind of like meh today, and I've been a bit like, I don't know, maybe it's just all this like cumulative fatigue from the workouts I've been doing and stuff. It's been a bit I don't know. Anyway, how are we doing tonight, people? Might have to restart the live, guys, because it's fucking dead. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start up a new one. Just gonna have a quick toilet break, I think, as well. So, oh, hello, Metric. Hello, Glitch. Right, I'm gonna start again, guys.